Welcome, everybody. It's Auran Shereef here. I've got the amazing Mark Cage. He's NPC Men's Physique Champion. He's so amazing. We're so glad we got him on our show. He's a really incredible person. You guys got to get to know him. You have to train with him. He's one of the best in the world, and we're so glad we have him today. Mark, how's it going?
I'm doing pretty well. Thank you so much for having me. It is an honor to be on your show, my brother.
Mark, your story is just so incredible, man. I mean, most people wish they could be like you at your age. I mean, you look like you're in your 30s. So how did this all start?
Oh, thanks, man.
Were you always in great shape? And then
Thanks.
one day you just blossomed? How did this even start with you?
Actually, it started out watching my father at 5 a.m. every single morning. I would watch him doing, like, he would have these sandals and they were like maybe 10, 15 pounds. And every morning he was a dentist and a cattle rancher. So, he was always up early. And I was watching him all the time, and I got working out from him. And then plus, my father had a ranch. He owned a ranch out in South Texas. This is where I really began my training, to where I was building fences. My father had 200 head of cattle, 6,500 acres. My brother and I would root plowed, raked. I was on the field a lot, building for the cattle, the deer, that we managed, and sugarcane, sorghum, buffalo, and it was great. It was great. A lot of work. I would use cedar posts for training, but I kept that going, even though we would be on my father's ranch on the weekend, and I was going to school at that time, and then so every weekend I would go to my father's ranch, basically our ranch. And then from there we would take care of the cattle, and every season we would do a lot of hard work, but I loved the ranch. And then once I quit school, then I lived on my father's ranch. I did not even want to come back down to the city limits. Basically I was one of those guys that just love the city. You like the beach. I see the beach background, I like the beach too. But I continued my training because my father, he was in the military, and he would train the generals. He would train the generals, and he would train all the soldiers how to shoot the firearms, but he would also train these elite mentors, and get them in tip-top shape. And I guess it just carried on to me. Him being a dentist for over 55 years, San Antonio, Texas, where I was born and raised, and then I went to a couple military schools back then. I went to college, a couple semesters of that. And then I went a different direction. I always continued with the weight training and always taking care of myself. It started out with my father, and then, being bullied, being picked on in schools and all that. I just wanted to find something. And I found that being in the gym helped me out a lot. It helped me out with a lot of insecurities. And for most people, actually, Aaron, for most people who have same insecurities, same failures, same bad habits, same negativities, I want to beat them down. Get in the gym. Get in the gym, because every time, if you have these emotions going on in your head, and then the minute you go to the gym and then you release everything, you forget about it, because all that stuff is just make believe, man. It is make believe. And the minute you get out of there, you feel so much better. From that, after I got out of school, and then I worked for my uncle, my dad's brother, because they own a building back in Texas, where he's an orthopedic surgeon. So I ran his physical therapy rehab. I did a lot of physical therapy, physical therapy background, corrective exercise specialist, trigger point specialist. I did a lot of range of motion and restriction, running my uncle's rehab for him for so many years. I was really good at it. This is where I was able to, assess anybody, walking assess, and help anybody who wanted to help Aaron, I would help them. Mm-hmm. And then it took a different turn, because the money wasn't that well. It wasn't that good. Then I got into the club business. I went a different direction. And then just one night of working in the club business, I made more money than 2 weeks, working for my uncle. It was a different road I took. And then I spent 20 years doing that business. It was a business, man. I would like to say it was with a company. I mean, I'll go ahead and say it. I was a male stripper. I was a male stripper for 20 years. But also being in that, I was competing with 20 other guys, and being in tip-top shape. So I was always in the business. But then being in that, I got tired of the business, bro. I got tired of the business. So I wanted to change attitude, change life. I mean, a lot of people, they get sick of doing something. So what are you going to do? Are you going to stay there and melt? Or are you going to get up and go and do something different? You know, you have to take that leap. So I took that leap and I moved to California, and then I became a trainer. You know, I decided to become a trainer. First an actor. I was an actor. I was very selfish at what I knew, because I knew a lot and I didn't want to help anybody. But I changed that mindset really quick. I lived in my car for about 3 months. 3 months here in California on the side of the street, Burbank, and I would use 24-hour fitness to shower, work out, and then go on set because it was free food. It was free food all day. So then I was eating, and then I did so many TV shows as an extra, became principal, then became SAG union. And then as everything just kept pushing forward, I kept God in my heart always first. And then it just kept moving forward. And then I started working in a gym, you know, because the acting, I still do the acting, kept it on the side. It wasn't like I expected it. It was going to be, I wanted to be an action star, but, you know, the big man upstairs had something different. So then he wanted me helping people. So then I started into a gym business because from living in my car, I had a buddy, he was living here already, and he introduced me to a guy who owned a gym. And then I looked at this guy, and then eventually this dude became my best friend. But then as I was working there, whatever I did, I turned to gold, because I was so grateful and thankful that I was able to move these steps. I got a broom, I saw it dirty, and I would sweep and sweep and just pretended it was mine. And I made it clean, and I trained so many clients. I didn't want to train any clients. And then he goes, I'll give you $100 if you train her for 30 minutes. Give me. So I trained her, and then not knowing, wow, this is a pretty good business. You know, it's a pretty good business, and helping people and giving them the body that they want, you know, and helping them with a lot of emotional, you know, fighting that they have, you know, and getting them to a position that they've never been before, and having a mentor helping them to do so. And then from that point, I stayed there for about 12 years. And then all of a sudden, one of my buddies, he was first classic Mr. Physique, you know, bodybuilding champion, Mr. Olympia. And then he wanted me to go to one of his clients, who was Tai Lopez. So then I did not have time, Auran, to go visit him. It's like, okay, I'll go in between my clients, because I was so busy from the gym from 5 a.m. till 11. You know, I ended up becoming a partner with my buddy at the gym, because he goes, man, you never stop. You know, I like your style. What is this about you? It comes from my father. You know, whatever you do, and my mother, whatever you do, you keep doing it. You make sure you do it good. You know, because this is the only way you elevate. Don't be a half, you know, like my father said, don't be a half-a. You know, anything that you do, you touch, you turn it right. So then I go over there to Ty's house, a beautiful mansion up in Beverly Hills, and then his arm was messed up. You know, and then he was saying, well, Mark, I have a problem with my left arm. I can't move it. And the doctor, he wants to do surgery. And then I looked at him, and then I said, okay, Ty, well, I'll give you this. Either you're going to go to your doctor, your orthopedic surgeon, he's going to open you up, and then it's probably about, well, maybe $100,000 to open you up. And then, you know, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, maybe more of rehab. And you got a lot of things to do. You're traveling a lot and all that. Or you want my show thumb for about 2 minutes. He goes, show thumb? And I grabbed his arm, and I just started working on it. And then all of a sudden he looked at his arm, then he looked at me. Mark, I'm going to make you a traveling healer. It's like, okay, buddy. I've heard a lot of things. Auran, the next week, I was on a first-class flight to Norway. And then for 6 years after that, I was his right-hand man, being his personal trainer, his nutritionist, his security, his ranch hand, and his rehab guy. You know, I helped him out with all these, traveling with him, learning a lot from him in these 6 years. And then him learning from me. I was able to get him to 205, dropped him down to 160 using my formulas, you know, and then he carries that weight on till to this day. I mean, we saw him over at the event just a couple of weeks ago here in Beverly Hills. And then after that, and I was training a lot of elite entrepreneurs, president of Disney, a president of real estate companies, a lot of high-end important people, high-class family members, wives, that live in Hidden Hills where the Kardashians are, and just anyone who needed the training, and who wanted the help to get them where they wanted to be. Some people, they just like training just because it makes them feel good. I see you all the time. You're making moves, man. You're always on the cardio. You're wherever it is that you are, you're doing something active, which is really good, man.
Thank you, Marcus. Man, I don't even know how to unpack that. Such an incredible journey you had from, working at the ranch, and then you're in the industry, and then this like one thing led to another. What an incredible pathway to get there. We got to have a book or something out about you on how to go through tough times and keep succeeding.
Yeah, I have definitely been through some tough times, and learning how these times are only lessons in your life, because always looking forward is the mainstream. Don't look back. If you're in something, you keep emotionally in it for at least 3 days, you're in it too long. You got to get out. You got to get out. I've learned this from my dad and my mom, and just the path that I have been on, because I'll tell you what, Aaron, I've been through a lot. A lot of people, we have our stories. We have our stories, and everybody, doesn't matter who we are, you can tap on them, and they can tell you a very interesting story. Some have more interesting than others, but they have a story on an upbringing of from being down at the bottom and then rising up to the top.
Yeah, we only have more to go, Mark. I mean, this is just the beginning for you. I can only imagine. So what I want to chat with you about is what's right behind you over there, those nice trophies. Let's talk about that. Well, what was that like, just going from, I guess, a regular guy to being an actual champion with trophies? What's that discipline like and that work ethic? Not a lot of people can.
You know how we see the trophies. You can hear me okay?
Yeah.
How we see the trophies, this is just hardware. This is just I look at these, and is to me, and I've only been competing for 2 years. And what I have accomplished in 2 years, there have been some athletes that have not accomplished this in the entire time that they've been. I've had two lessons from the first show I did. I entered a novice. It was the beginning, but before that, I entered Venice Muscle Beach competition. I became Mr. Muscle Beach. I got a banner on that, a big banner that advertises, me and the show that they present. I won 4 championships there. First place. I beat all the young bucks. I'm 55 years old, Aaron. So having to prove to myself that I could be better than I was the day before, the last year, and how I can make myself better the following day, moving forward, which has not been, so we plan from that point. 8 weeks later, and then I went to NPC Nationals, National Physique Committees, NPC. I did the novice, true novice, be 45, 55 overall, and I won all of those. First place. I beat all the young bucks, beat all the 35s, the 45s, everybody. I was pretty impressed because of all the hard work of 20 weeks of nutrition, eating the same thing over and over, hours and hours and hours of cardio on end. You got to have a different trigger in you that you want to pull, to show that you can do this, and like I say, I get it from my father and my mother. They got something in them that just doesn't stop no matter what. And of course, the big man upstairs, man. And then from that point, I had one lesson at that show, because my mindset was prepared. This is something that if you have something to prepare for what you have at the table, but also prepare for something unexpected, which I was not ready for, because I was prepared to win everything what I mentioned to you, and then all of a sudden they put me in another category. I was like, wait, what's going on here? So they put me in another category, and then I took second. And then in men's physique, I mean, you have to have broad shoulders, tiny waist, and my waist was at like a 30, which was pretty small. But the guy who got it, as we were walking down the stairs, I go, whoa, this dude's got a small waist. So what I did the next year is like, okay, well, watch this. So then I end up getting a 28 waist. So I went 2 sizes down. So it's very possible, and then my pro show, out of 10 athletes, I competed the 19th, November 19th, and we get ready for this show for a year of having to build up mass. I went up to 215 in August. From November 19th, I went down to 179, but just from August to August 24th on my birthday, I went down 7 sizes. So, I mean, with these formulas that I have and give to anybody and what kind of lifestyle that they have, anything can be done. You just have to have the mindset and the go get it attitude, So then I did that. And then I took second. I mean, the guy who I congratulated him, but it's such an honor just to even be pro, at a pro level. And then out of 10 athletes in my division, and there was over 600 athletes in different divisions there. So, I mean, I felt pretty good about it. I was the most conditioned out of everybody, but they weren't looking for the most shredded. They were looking, it's a gamble, man. They were looking for a little bigger size, and I'll still look at these pictures today. I'm going, okay, what's going on here? To the guy who took it. Again, I congratulated him. It just wasn't my turn. So we keep pushing, but on that end, what I'm doing now is my online training, my high performer body exclusive training, where I can train anybody from around the globe. It involves high performer body workouts to get you shredded in a short amount of time. It gets you customized meal plan according to your daily activity. You could be sitting down all day. We customize something to where you're still burning fat and gaining muscle. It has 24/7 messaging access to where I'm right there with you every single minute of the day. My phone goes off. I know exactly what moves that you're making. You're going to have your calendar of all the workouts of my workouts that I designed for you. You will see me doing the workouts that you will be doing to get you in the best shape. You have bi-weekly calls to go over your next 2 week wins. I'm sorry. And then you have your before and afters. Every 2 weeks we take pictures, but it's a whole process and a whole customized training program that you do not get as opposed of, and it's more affordable than live training actually. Because sometimes live training it gets pretty pricey. Especially if you want to get trained by an elite coach.
Yeah, you're one of the best there is. That's amazing. You're offering this program to people. If you guys are listening out there, you guys need to get on this train, man. Mark is a busy guy. You want to get in his schedule, get in there. So what's it like?
Yes.
A lot of clients. Like, what's your workload right now? How many people do you train a week? How many people do you train a week or per month? Or
I train enough to keep the show running, and then I'm very grateful for how it is now. Before it was a lot, and now it's just I like it how it is. The more the merrier. We have a lot of clients. My wife, she's my partner. She also does high performer body training for women, also for men too. Because there's some people that don't want to do training, So then we have my wife training, who's very well experienced. I've trained her for the last. We've been together for 10 years. It was our anniversary when we were over at Ties. It was great. We keep everything moving. We try to elevate just like yourself, man. You want to try to do the next big thing. Try to keep focused, and the new year's coming around, so there's going to be a lot of people wanting to experiment in new things. And guess what? They're going to get something really exciting once they come on board.
yeah. a lot of people's New Year's resolution is usually get in good shape, get better. So those people,
Yeah.
if you're making your New Year's resolutions, Mark Cage could be your New Year's resolution. Get in his program and look at those guns over there, guys. Who wants guns like that? So yeah, it's just I'm just glad we have you on here, Mark. So I've got some good questions here because I've wanted to ask you too, but like in general, kind of they're just like general health tips, but like people who are either trying to lose weight or they're trying to cut or get shredded, what are like some general advice tips? Basically, like work out at least for an hour or just do more cardio, do less lifting. Does it kind of is it specific or just what would you say like top three, top five Mark Cage fitness tips? What to do,
Okay. So
special tips or something?
yeah, you got it, man. So the best thing to do is any entrepreneurs, entrepreneurs, they have really busy schedules. You don't have to be in the gym, Aaron, for over an hour. That's really not necessary. We can call them express workouts. You know, the best ways to take off some lbs is you wake up in the morning. Some of my routines that I would use was L-carnitine, which is a natural fat burner. I would use a probiotic to keep the gut neutral, you know, and then I would use some caffeine, and then I would do fasted cardio. I'm using the meal from the night before for the fuel for the cardio. I would not do fasted training because then you will be burning the muscle and then not the fat. So what we want to do is you wake up in the morning, you come up with your routine, do fasted cardio the minute you wake up. Don't go work out, just do cardio. You can go for, and running. Here's another thing. A lot of people like to run, entrepreneurs. If that's what you like doing, do it. But the concrete pavement is pretty rough on your knees. You know, eventually you start feeling it. We don't want any injuries because from being sports medicine, physical therapy background, corrective exercise, you know, I try to avoid, you know, a lot of hard surfaces. I like treadmills. I like a helix, like what we have here, you know, in our living room, and treadmills, stair climbers. If you don't have access to that, then hit the neighborhood, do a little fast walk. At least you're doing that. 30 minutes every morning. If you don't have time for 30 minutes, start low increments. Low increments, you go 15, 20-minute walk, come back, eat a big breakfast, and go to work. And then you're going to be eating every 3 hours after that. If you're sitting all day, then you're going to be eating smaller meals. Don't have big meals because then you're going to drown yourself out. And then from that point, having small meals, and then you can train later at night. Have a meal before you work out. That way you're using that fuel to help you build, because what we want to use is those carbs turn to glycogen, right? We want to use that. It turns into glucose. And then from there, we want it to store it into the muscle for fuel to help build the muscle. We don't want to be all day sitting at a desk all day, impairments, neck forward, hips flexed, and then you wake and then you go after work, then you're going to go lift on an empty stomach. Man, don't do that. You're just cutting yourself backwards. So morning, wake up, fasted cardio, eat breakfast, continue with your day, make that money all day long. Just make sure that you're staying active, get up, move around and all that, you know, and then lift it. Just adapt, adjust, and execute whatever, however your day is going. You know, you can, you're the one in control. You know, you can't let anything control. You know, you got to take care of me before we, which is my little saying, because I've taken care of we, but when it's time to me, there's no fuel. And then next, you know, you're the one getting impaired and you're the one shrinking down. Well, yes, the we's getting in shape. They're getting all taken care of, but then they start asking you, are you okay? It's like, because you get so busy, you know, having a lot of clients, online clients, you know, and just taking care of everybody. You have to learn to take care of yourself, drown everything out. And in the morning, I got my time. I'll do my cardio. Since I'm not competing, I'll do my cardio after my workout. I'll have a big breakfast. I'll head to the gym, take care of my clients. Then I bring my meals with me. Meal prep, take your food with you. That way you don't have these options, you know, Starbucks. Yeah, give me a little sausage patty with cheese. Let me have a salad that's filled with all this sodium and all these chemicals. You know, there's so many bad options that everybody chooses. They feel like it's good, but then guess what? That your coffee that you have has like 60 grams of sugar and that salad that you have has so many chemicals in it. It eventually adds up and you still feel sluggish. Diet sodas, I choose sparkling water over diet sodas. Don't get me wrong, Aaron, I do like my cakes and my pies and my donuts and all that. There's a time to eat that. I'll stay clean all through the week, and then I'll have maybe two good cheat meals. There's burger and fries is usually my case, but after the show, I went to a lot of pastries, a lot of pies. I had to get it out of my system because it was 20 weeks of solid, no left, no right, and just focus on winning, winning, winning. I mean, every day I like getting up and focus. This is what I'm doing, and I'm spending my time. Let's get back to that. For the entrepreneurs or for anybody, you don't have to spend 90 minutes, 2 hours in the gym. You can have express workouts. You can do exactly what I was saying in the beginning. You do your fasted cardio, then you have breakfast, and then you can go to the gym after that and have a 30-minute workout. Or some entrepreneurs, they have their gym in their facility. It's easier. They have everything right there because they're so busy. There's no excuse for anybody. It's up to us. We have the choice. Either you want to be a potato, or you want to be moving. A lot. I mean, I do like potatoes, but still, I use those carbs. And then my thing is adapt, adjust, and execute. My three. And anything that is at the table, anything can change at any given time. You could have your set schedule, then all of a sudden you get a call and you have to do this. Okay, what do I need to do? All right, I won't do my cardio. I won't do my workout. I'm going to eat. I'm going to eat on the way or whatever, have my fuel now. That way it's not going to bring me down. And then adjust to your day. Take care of it. And then after that, just you find a way. Me, I prefer working out in the morning. At night, I will work out, but I wake up so early, and I have to take care of my clients and all that, and I handle it that way. I'll work out first, and then I'll take care of my clients.
What about this was so great, your stuff. I actually wrote down a lot of notes here. What's your thoughts and opinions on like supplements, stuff like that? Protein shakes,
Supplements are good.
vitamins, fish oil.
I do fish oil. I do L-carnitine. I do CLA. I do calcium, magnesium, zinc. I do vitamin D, K2. I also do Celtic salt, which has a lot of minerals, which I sprinkle on every meal. I use enzymes to help absorb the food that I'm eating because I do eat a lot. For competing, I have to eat more carbs and for what I want out of my physique, to excel again, to the next level, then I am always changing things. I said vitamin E, fish oils, and then which other ones? That's about it. I don't take too many.
Protein
Too
powder.
many. And of course, water. I drink a gallon of water a day. Hydration is very key because you can feel sluggish. Your eyes burn is like, it can slow you down, but you have to keep your water, half your body weight in ounces. So if you weigh 200, then you have 100 ounces of water. Me, I go for a gallon, try to get a gallon a day because I'm working out and I'm putting a lot of stress on my body and I need the fuel to eat to handle the stress and recover. The carbs help because they have a source of fuel, source of water, which helps in prevention of injuries, and always rehab yourself, stretch, flex. I wouldn't say yoga. I'm not into yoga. I do my own basic stretches, from my technique that I use. I kind of go a little more advanced, than that. And tomorrow, my wife and I are actually going to go do a sports medicine. We're going to do a rehab. We're going to do a rehab training and then possibly, help out with some thoughts, what I have, throughout my over 20 years of being in the business.
Do you have any opinion on protein powder though for people who are trying mass or anything specific like Optimum Nutrition or any specific brands or like vegan?
I use the one protein that I use is unflavored. while I was competing, I would not use protein. I would do solid meals because solid meals would be better, but being on the go and on the run, the protein powder that I would use is unflavored because it just has one ingredient, just the protein itself. So you can look into Amazon, and then let me see if I can look it up real quick. I have it right here. I'm about to get me another jug of it again, actually. And it's a whey protein isolate too. I don't get whey protein because the whey protein itself will give you that bloat. It's from Now Sports. I'm blasting them. Now Sports whey protein isolate, which has 25 grams, and it's soy free, and it has branched chain amino acids, which help with recovery. And I usually do 2 scoops of that, and I'll put some almond butter. Everything I'm doing is about weight gaining, but I'm still shredded and in a position to where I can eat and keep my calories up high because I'm very active, either from in the gym or I'm going from house to house. Also, what I do when I train live, not only from my high performer body training online, I train live and I go to their homes. So whenever the pandemic hit, they said you can't go anywhere. And of course I ignored that and I went everywhere. I put like 300 pounds in my truck, and then I went from mansion to mansion and I trained the president of Disney, the president of real estate companies, a lot of entrepreneurs. I would just pull up my rig, open up the back, and from A to Z, 15 styles of training. Still to this day, from Muay Thai training, kickboxing, boxing, to CrossFit, which I'm not too fond of. CrossFit, you can, I'll turn the CrossFit into like just regular strength training, doing peripheral hard action movements, properly. I mean, you can do it. They usually do about 6 exercises back to back with no rest. And they'll probably rest like maybe 30 seconds to a minute after doing so many exercises. My style of training would be 1 exercise, rest, crank it out again. Or you can do strength endurance movements, have 3 exercises combined, which I call triple treat. Hit those 3 exercises, then rest over a minute, and then you do that again, which you will have better results that way, where you're resting, you're letting that glycogen that's stored in the muscle increase, so you're ready for your next set, and you're going to be stronger, and you'll have more energy the next set. Because if you notice, doing it 6 exercises, and then next you rest only 30 seconds, even a minute, and then your performance for your second round is not going to be like your first. It won't, because usually with strength training, you can be stronger the next set, you can go heavier. CrossFit training, it's different. I mean, if you like CrossFit, you like CrossFit. If I was at a CrossFit event, you're going to see me taking my time with each exercise. While everybody's passing me up, I'll be on the second exercise. Everybody will be on the 6th exercise. I'm just taking my time.
You just know so much stuff. We need something like Mark Cage's Fitness Bible or something. Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Oh, that'd be great. Oh, yeah. That would be great. Tommy, you wanted to write a book about my life at one point, when we were traveling, but the guy's so busy to where we couldn't get a writer, a ghost writer, and then me just like here on my phone, I have some stories of my travels when I was in the business. But I'm no longer that guy. So even if we did a book on that, it would be like they would see a complete different dude, because I'm not that guy anymore.
For the knowledge you have, like a guide or something like that would be helpful. I would read that. I would help you promote that. Your stuff you have so much stuff in your head that people need to know. We need to expose you a little bit more. So
Great.
I'm just thinking about everything you said now. You know how some people, how are you measuring everything in terms of, because I think I saw Ty, some guys, they do the blood test and stuff every few months. They want to do blood tests. Some guys got that new wearable devices. They wear like a heart monitor or a watch, and it tracks your heart rhythms and stuff. Do you do any of these like devices and like blood tests to really measure increments of things?
Yes. While competing, you do have to always take care of yourself, because there have been a lot of athletes that do not do this, and bad things happen. Bad things happen to those who do not take care of themselves, because you're putting a lot of stress on your body. But you have to understand how to do these supplements and do them correctly, and then stay monitored. Always get your blood work, give blood, and keep everything intact. Dr. Elkin, he is my competition doctor. So even before, in the middle, and after, going into these competitions, you want to make sure everything is good to go. Having what was this test, man? They put me on a test because no, it wasn't the EKG. It was it was a test, man, to where they put all kinds of wires on me. It was because my C2 was out of whack. And then I woke up one day and I was like, well, what's going on, man? I feel kind of dizzy. And then I told my coach that. He goes, oh, you got your doctor? No. I know what it is. I just have to reset it. I just reset it right there. So I just reset it, did that, it popped, and then next thing I just moved around and I was fine. But I still went in, had the test, and then with this test was perfect. They put an ultrasound on my heart, and just I was first time ever I was able to see my heart in action. And it says, wow, man, you're like a young buck running in the woods. It's like, so always Ty, he was always good with that. Always giving blood, taking blood, just knowing the levels. Heart monitors, yes, because I would keep my heart rate. So if you do equation 220, let me see. So if you did, let me see, how old are you, everyone?
34.
Okay, so 220 subtract 34 equals 186 times 0.70. Your heart rate, fat burn heart rate, and maintain your heart rate should be at 130. So every time when you're on that cardio machine, you keep it at 130. So my heart rate would be, for my age, it would be at 116, but I did 7 increments higher and I kept mine at 123 to get that extra burn, to increase a higher metabolic rate. Just this is for competition wise, but just moderate, 130, keep yours at 130. Your heart rate should be there, and then you do 20-30 minutes and you're good. So if you wake up every morning, have a cup of coffee, and you get these supplements, I can send you everything what I take. Then you can do L-carnitine, the probiotic, have a cup of coffee, do 30 minutes of cardio, 20 minutes of cardio, just to feel it out. After you do that, then you want to eat breakfast. Have your breakfast. And then if you're going to work out later or whatnot, you can, after you have breakfast, then you can go back to the gym and then work out. And then you're going to eat again. And then you're going to do every 3 hours after that. And then I guarantee you, just by modifying your morning routine, it will change and your body will start to change. It's like unbelievable, because I never used to believe that fasted cardio was nonsense. And then I started doing it. You have to eat first thing in the morning and then go do your cardio. And then no, you need protein. Absolutely not, because you're having the fuel from the night before, because, depending on how you eat. So in the morning, even when you're doing the cardio, you're going to start to get extremely hungry. It's working. You are in a high metabolic fat burn rate. And then after that, you're going to have a well-nourished breakfast, meaning like my breakfast would be 2 cups of egg whites, half a cup of dry oats, which comes out to a cup of oatmeal, and then a cup of antioxidant berries. And I would sprinkle cinnamon. I usually like the berries frozen. I would eat that. That would be my meal. 3 hours after that, then I will continue on to my meals, either if I'm high carbing or low carbing. Normally, I would do 3-day low carb, 1-day high carb before competition, to really modify, to get that like chiseled effect, paper thin, type, if you want to go that route. If not, then you can just maintain small meals throughout the day, adjust everything. And I tell you what, man, you'll get the body that you want. Simple hacks that people don't understand. They just have to get up and actually do it. And for some people, it takes a lot. A phone call, let me hold your hand, is like, whatever it takes to get them started. Just recently, the other guy, one of my clients, he was going through some emotional breakdowns, a boss of a big company, and we won't say names, but basically you also become a therapist. to where I'm speaking with him, and then he didn't want to train. I said, dude, you got to come in. If you don't, I'm still going to charge your ass. It doesn't matter. He goes, and plus, I'm trying to change you from being who you used to be into somebody different. And I'm talking to him, then all of a sudden he just breaks down and cries. It's okay, man. Let it out. You can be here for a second, but you got to get out of this situation. You can't, if you're a big boss, you can't let your employees know or see any of this, what's going on in front of me now. You can in front of me because I'm your guy. I've been here before, but you can't be here the minute we leave out of these doors. You got to be a different person. I guarantee you now, he is like the newest dude, and he's the boss again that he's supposed to be. Because when you go into malnutrition, if you're going into like a lot of emotional breakdowns, it affects malnutrition, losing hair, skin tone, as you get all these things going on. I mean, I can look at anybody and say, okay, we got to work this. Being in the business for such a long time, I just love helping people, man. If you want it, I'll give it. If you don't want it, I'm cool. I can tell you something to do. But basically, some people, they don't do it. I can give instructional exercises. You do this and you do that. And of course, they didn't do it. They won't do it. It's a mindset that you have to have, but when you make the investment into something, it's not that I'm going to get it out of you. You're the one. If you're ready for it, ready. I'm not going to hunt you down for it and make you do it, because I want somebody who's in it. I don't want somebody who's in it for a little bit and then, I can't come in. No, I want somebody in full effect. I'm here to help anybody who wants it, not just entrepreneurs, everyday people who want to change their body, who want to change their mindset, have better discipline, have just a better mindset about everything, more self-confidence. When you're in shape and you feel good about yourself, what happens? You make more money. You walk in a room, people are like, okay, what's going on? They want to ask questions. Who is this guy? Who's this dude? Well, he's not the boss. He's just an employee. He works with, really, this guy should be the boss. Just making yourself feel good. A lot of people, they don't have this in them. You got to have it. You got to have that grit. But the minute you get it, it's just an amazing feeling, because the gym, working in, either it's a 30-minute or 90-minute or however long you get in there, just get in there. Even if it's a home workout, got home workouts, and it's whatever it is, it makes you feel good. Just do it. Make moves, making moves, adapt, adjust, and execute. Simple. You just have to do it.
Should be your book title: Adapt, Adjust, Execute.
I love it. I think the Marines do adapt, adjust, overcome. Mine's execute. So whatever it is that you're having issues with, you get it. Mm-hmm. You get it, and then you become a champion this way, man.
And then one day you might be like Mark Cage, and it's good to say, just like your dad said,
at least change.
Nobody can half-ass it with you.
I'm a pretty good people reader, being around, of course, the younger you get, you see a lot of things, what's a yes and what's a no immediately. Mm-hmm. And of course you want to be around like-minded people. You want to be around entrepreneurs, wealthy people, high-end people who are smart, people who are motivated. I like seeing a lot of people. You'll see me hanging out. I mean, my circle is extremely small. My circle is just me and my wife. Me and my wife, and then I have maybe a list of people in my hand, that I hang out with. Before, it was just me, Ty, and all the entrepreneurs and everywhere for so many years. And we move forward, man. We move forward. Now I'm training more high-end people, and just that's how it is, man. I love what I do, and I do what I love.
I can tell. I can see it in your eyes. You're a happy person. So to wrap this up, kind of curious, what does the future hold for you in the next few months? Any big things happening for you next year in 2024? What's happening in the future for you?
Well, I can't see what is going on into the future. It's not up to me. I don't make those footsteps, but I know whatever it is, it's going to be big. I do know there is one more lesson that I have to beat, you know, and that will probably be another stage, and let's see what happens after that. In the meantime, right now is still kicking ass and taking names and loving everybody. Try not to have a bad attitude towards it. Just love everyone, man. There's a lot of weird people on the streets. I tell you that right now. And this is why my circle is so small. That's why I like being around my clients that I train, because they're extremely smart, high end, or like I say, they're good people. Like tomorrow, what am I going to do? I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to train my clients. I'm going to train, and then tomorrow, just an event. Every day has opportunities. Every day I like to say something good is happening to me today, and I'm ready for it. Let's go. But just big things, man. Big things, just like big things are going on in your world, brother.
Yeah, just trying to stay up with you. Well, Mark, we're so glad we had you on here. Any final thoughts you want to say to the audience or people about you? How do they find you? Is there a website, Mark Cage Fitness? How do
Yes.
people get up with you?
Yes. Thank you, viewers, for having me on Auran's TV show. It's been a great honor to speak with Auran, and then you guys, the viewers, listening to my story. I have much more to tell, but if you want to get in touch with me, my Instagram is Cage Fit, Mark Cage Fitness. You just DM me on there if you want any questions answered. Hit me up on there, and I will gladly take care of you and put you in the new frame that you deserve.
You guys get in there now. Mark is a busy guy. You guys get in as soon as you see this episode. Sign up with Mark and have a better life with him. Mark, thank you so much for coming on the show. We really appreciate you. Hopefully I'll get to catch up with you again. And you rock, man. You're the best.
Thank you, brother. Next time you're in LA, bro, let's hook up, all right?
Sounds good. See you later, Mark.
Let's go, bro.
Get those guts.
Thank you, brother.